What's going on, everybody? It's your man, 100 Grand, your personal agent for change, making life easy, Barzini.
And I'm Fempreneur Extraordinaire, Tech Diva all day, Dre Renee.
And this is the Crossroads, where there's only one rule.
Be free to be you.
Y'all, I don't know how many, we've done this 50, 11 times.
Yeah.
And it's always like, hey, get the intro right.
Oh. I just wonder about the delays still. I'm like, are we delayed? Are we
yeah, that's why I can't look up at my other screen because we up there and I'm like, oh snap. Let me make sure I'm not paying attention to that.
That's
but
funny.
I got like a couple of fears in life. One of them was always like falling in a public place, like on stage or something like that. Mm-hmm. Another one was like cussing at if I was speaking at church and I end up slipping cuss.
My Lord.
And
then
let you know
how much you do it.
And then messing up the intro on the show or something like that. And now I gotta not cuss on the show.
Right.
It's my pre-New Year's resolution. So I need y'all, like, for everybody watching, y'all have to call me out if I don't even know when I cuss. That's how much I cuss. Yeah. Or whatnot. You like my Christmas colors today?
Oh, well, see? Merry Christmas.
I don't
Christmas think I recognize that as like green, like Christmas green. But now that you said it, I was like, oh yeah, it's a nice
yeah. And I got the Christmas J's to the ones to match it. I don't have them on right now. I'm business at the top and
the party on the bottom.
Comfortable at the bottom.
Same. I'm not even business on top. I'm just
Yeah, I'm home at the bottom. Let's just say that.
Okay.
I may or may not have anything on at the bottom.
Oh Lord, you love to overshare. Oh my gosh. Hey everybody, we see you coming in. Say hi, so we know who's with us.
Exactly, and y'all excuse my crudity or whatnot. But speaking of people here,
I'm just making sure that we have our link in a couple of places. I know this is brand new, so we are exclusively streaming from YouTube. So we're putting the link in our various social media homes, but we want everyone to come on over to YouTube. So if you're on now, please share and get a friend or two on to talk with us this evening because we got some things to talk about.
Absolutely.
But before we get into the topics, we like to do a little housekeeping in the beginning. And so one thing that we want to start doing is recognizing those of you who are helping us on our growth campaign. So if you are already tuned in and you have not subscribed to the Crossroads Podcast YouTube channel, then please go ahead and do that right now. Also click the bell. That's going to be the way that you get a reminder whenever we go live or we post a new episode. So let's go ahead and shout out our newest subscribers over the past couple of weeks. Kim Sanders, Glow, Raquel, and Chelsea. Thank you so much for supporting the Crossroads Podcast and subscribing this week. So if you are subscribing today or before the next time that we go live, we'll make sure to give you a shout out as well. So
yeah, we appreciate
shout out to our new subscribers. Yes.
Yeah, and tell a couple to tell a couple. We need all the love that we can get, y'all.
Yes,
and go back and watch the old episodes as well.
Yes. We made a new playlist with all of our live episodes. So if you're on our channel, all these antics are going to be up there. Okay. Everything that we do live and when we interact with you. Hey, Dane, welcome.
What's going on with it, Dane? That's he hosted a podcast as well, the Uncouth podcast. So I need to check them out. You know what I'm saying?
You coming over here, you're inviting us over there. What's the deal?
Yeah, I need to get him on the show because he's got dope insight and everything else. And shout out to the Wild Bunch. They just recently did a Bad Boy tribute show.
I saw that. I don't know how I ended because I don't know if I know him, but I followed something and they were doing all about the Benjamins. I was like in my room having a grand old time.
Do you remember Wild Bunch from back in the day? They all went to Washington. or we're not like full on band.
Well, they was getting it. I was
Yeah, yeah,
there, even though I
yeah.
was there.
Okay, yeah. Now they super dope. So thanks for the support. Um, so yeah, more housekeeping. We're gonna make sure that we pay these bills, because we gotta keep the show
Bills,
on the
bills,
air, y'all.
bills.
So as always, the Crossroads podcast is brought to you by the House of 334
It's the house.
for
I'll
all
make
your
sure I was
business.
ready first. I was like, we'll do the rest later, but let me make sure I'm on time.
Y'all, for y'all business branding and copyright needs, go to house of334.com. It is black owned, it is woman owned, and it is amazing. And act now because the house fills up fast, y'all.
Okay. If
All right.
you want your business to be branded for quarter 1 or anytime in quarter 1,
Yeah.
you got about 3 more days.
Oh, listen.
To holla.
Listen, that's a good problem to have. Then when the house fill up, it fill up. You know what I
It
mean?
fills up. Yes,
And
it
so
does.
until they buy a bigger house, you got to act quick. But the Crossroads podcast is also brought to you by the Crossroads. Y'all are watching us on YouTube right now. Make sure that you go down, click that bell, and subscribe. We have goals and everything else that we want to reach, and we need your help to do it. So for everything that we do, our email address, our lives, our community pages, and everything else, you can go to our bit.ly, and that's bit.ly/the Crossroads, THEXROSSROADZ. And we thank y'all for y'all support. Now, if you also would like to be a sponsor, send us an email. Send us an email at crossroadspodcast@gmail.com. That is crossroadspodcast@gmail.com. It's on the lower third right there. Hit us up, let us know, and we'll discuss business there about you being one of the sponsors and shout you out on the show. So we appreciate all of those. Also, for those that want to donate, you can go to the bit.ly that we had already given you. We thank y'all for those who continue to donate to the show. Giving a little, giving a lot, it all helps. But we appreciate it just the same. And that is how you pay the bills.
That's how you pay
So,
those bills. Okay, we got an invitation. Love
bam.
to come on and have us on. So let's get to work.
There it is. There it is. We'll make that happen. So really, it's been so much going on this week.
It's been a busy week.
It's been a busy week.
It has been a busy week.
Y'all, we normally sometimes have to search for hot topics. Like, we be like, what's going on? Like this week,
it came to us.
Yeah, it was nonstop. It was nonstop. I don't even know if we was planning on going live this week.
It just was like, hey, we gotta talk. We gotta talk
life,
about
when
it.
life, and that's for season 2. You're gonna see a lot more of us live, y'all. When stuff happens, we're not always gonna wait for the pre-recorded shows to do that. Season 1, we had the pre-recorded shows, and then we had the monthly live. But this season, we're gonna be doing some scheduled live and then some pop-up live. So y'all might just see us randomly, but we'll try to do our best to promote it first. But if you're subscribed, you're gonna get the alert anyway. So
how about you do that and click the bell?
Click the bell, so you'll get a notification when we about to go live. So you ain't gotta ask when y'all going on again. You'll already know. So we appreciate that love. But let's
talk about first.
We got a lot to talk about, so we're gonna jump right into it. Brittney Griner was released from prison this past week.
Welcome
from Russia.
Home, BG.
So for those who are unfamiliar, or been living under a rock the past year, WNBA star Brittney Griner was arrested in Russia for being in possession of marijuana cartridge, I believe it was. And then she was eventually sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison. So that was like a huge deal. And so recently she was released in a trade for international arms dealer Victor. Is it Boot or Bout? How do you pronounce that? But they called him the Lord of War. There was actually a movie made about him, starring Nick Cage. So that was a pretty big deal. And the world was kind of going crazy over that. So what are your thoughts on that, Dre? Like Brittney coming home, especially of all the worldwide attention that the story got.
Right. Lots of feelings. I mean, glad that she's home. my first thought is that she should not have been locked up like that in the first place, especially to get a sentence of 9 years. Unfortunately, she was in Russia. We don't have, any control of what goes on over there. The rules are different. And so you will have folks who say, well, if she, wasn't carrying, then she wouldn't have, had to worry about it. Then you have folks who say she wouldn't have been over there if she was paid like the NBA players, like everybody, kind of has their thoughts about it. But I am glad that she's home. I'm glad she's with her family, particularly for the holidays. I was reading a couple of articles today that said, despite being there and under the conditions that she was, apparently, like, she was battling the flu on and off the whole time, because like her locks would get frozen, like she couldn't get them dry. So it's cold, freezing, sick, all these kind of things going on. And then just being away from home and being under those conditions, that she was actually very warm on the ride home, on the flight home. They said she talked probably, I think they said 12 of the 15 to 17 hours, however long it took to get home. Like, she really wanted to engage with people because, that, she had been in solitude and whatnot. So I'm glad that she's home. I understand. It doesn't necessarily mean I, agree, but I understand, that folks feel a way about, the trade that happened. But it was just like, if that was your loved one that was locked away potentially for 9 years for having, like you said, a cartridge, it's like, how would you feel? Mm-hmm. And I try to, consider that as well. So it's a messed up situation all the way around, but I am glad that she's home. Now, the part that confused me about you people, because it's your people.
Now it's my people now, right?
Yes, it's your people. Everybody was free BG, right? And then when she got free, then they were mad. Like, I can't believe we traded, I'm like, well, which one is it? Did we want BG home or not? And speaking of BG, somebody posted a picture of BG from the Hot Boys talking about, I thought that's
first of all, like with the BG, I always call her Brittney. See, y'all was on my head last week about calling Angela Bassett Angie, and now everybody else on BG. It's Brittney. Her name Brittney Griner. Shout out to Brandon. What's going on? Listen, we got.
Hi, Brandon. Welcome.
This is Brandon is the star of one of the most famous memes ever.
One of the most famous. Yeah, I was like,
yeah. For those of y'all who don't know who Brandon is by his name, anyway, Brandon Hammond starred in Soul Food.
Yes, Big Mama, your arm. I
love it. And so, in recent years, the crying meme from Soul Food became super famous. But he wanted to jump on and make sure he was supporting when I said that we were going to be talking about we were talking about Derrick Jaxn. So, actually, I invited him on the show season 1. He may have forgot, but we want to invite you on season 2, bro. We want you on as a guest.
Please do. You're welcome here.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that we hop on the phone and make that happen. But so Brittney, admittedly, I was on, I won't say on the train, but slightly on the train as far as like, that was stupid. Why you got weed in Russia? You know what I'm saying? They don't be playing over there, Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's kind of like, if you were doing that normally, and I'm not a super conspiracy theorist, but then after things start happening, you wondering like, was she used as a pawn to get their mans out? It's like, you are 6'9" Black woman in Europe or Asia.
Yeah.
Russia, actually, you know what I'm saying? So you stand out, they know who she is because she's over there playing ball and everything else. So it could have been, something afoot, but I think that the clamor over, her release and everything else, like, gave Russia leverage,
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were talking about the trade and how it was a horrible trade and everything else. But if you're behind the scenes, you have to ask, who was the one that was doing the negotiating, right? Was Russia trying to negotiate to get their man out and saying, hey, we're going to give you this, like, take it or leave it? Because the Marine, what's his name? I forget his first name, Waylon. Everyone was talking about, well, why you didn't bring him home and stuff like that. And so it's
you can't win.
We can't win, and we're such prisoners of the moment, because when this first happened, when they was like, before they was like free Brittney, why weren't they talking about freeing him before this? Like, where was the clamor for him? And we're only clamoring for him because she was released.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, we let a murderer out and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I guess it begs the question, like, what was being traded? Are you trading crimes? Are you trading a life for a life? Right. And so I think they're not weighing that there are two people in captivity, and they're weighing what they did. Right. And so it's kind of like, well, why would you give someone with such a small crime back for someone who did something bigger, instead of thinking, hey, this person with the small crime probably shouldn't have been locked up that long anyway. Now, if it was a crime, if she got a few months, that's whatever. But 9 years was excessive,
Yeah.
And then, I get the argument, like, why are we worried about that? We got people back home that are locked up. I've also said that too, and that's also true. But what are we trading for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an in-house issue. Yeah, those people that have those crimes, we need to do something about that. But this is something altogether different. She's not here. She's not in our custody. She's in their custody. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, it's I'm glad that she's home. I can't imagine having gone through that, or seeing one of my loved ones go through that. But Russia was clearly playing, I'm not even gonna say Russia, the US was playing chess too, because here's what y'all have to understand. If you're wondering about like the value of Brittney Griner, right, from a political standpoint, that was a genius move, because she checks off so many boxes. And if you follow like Biden's strategy, right, what did he do? Let me put a black woman in the vice presidency, right? Let me get black women in lifetime positions and stuff like that, in the judiciary. I can't even speak. And so you have a black woman, LGBTQ community, right? So you have black box, LGBTQ community, woman. So the feminists are like all of these different boxes. You have the athletes on deck, because the NBA was lobbying for her release and everything else. Like before the games, it was like, shout out to Brittney Griner, bring her home, like all this campaigning. And that's money. When you have professional athletes in the in the mix, like the story gets bigger and bigger. So now you got Biden like, hey, I brought Brittney Griner home. And so everybody that supports these various communities and the intersectionality of it are now like, hey, you know what I mean? So he's not going to get the Republican vote. So it's like garnering that still Democratic vote. And then those who are kind of towing the line, depending on what issue is most important to them when it comes to voting time, because Trump done put his name back in the hat.
I thought we was done with this. I felt like we're back in 2020. Like we have rewound.
So, and now he got his mouth back. I don't know who we've activated his account. Was that Elon Musk that gave him his Twitter account back? So
and
now
they booed the hell out of him at the show. Dave Chappelle brought him on. I don't know why, but brought him on stage during his concert, and I saw they were.
Oh yeah.
Boo! I was like, oh god.
Yeah. So it's definitely chess being played on both sides, and you have to ask, what each side stands to gain from the release. But like yo people, I'm gonna flip it back on you.
That was my folks.
Right, because it was crazy with the free Brittney, ain't no way she right, and then as soon as she's released, why, like y'all,
it's tough.
And somehow it was the same people.
That's what,
and the crazy part is, okay, you want this, but then you found out how much it costs. That's what it really was. You found out what it costs. You was asking for it, they paid the cost, and now you complaining that it was too expensive. You know what I'm saying? And then we acting like international gun dealers disappeared with Victor's arrest, as if, right? And so, some guy said something about him being released, and I'm as if like something as far as domestic. I'm like, because him being locked up took guns off the streets of America or something.
Oh
Like, y'all, first of all, I mean, I'm not gonna go too deep in it, but America's an international gun dealer. Let's not act like we only supplying arms for ourselves.
Okay, I get this law, right? I definitely understand that. She said, there are so many people that get detained in foreign countries with no wrongdoings and they get little to no help from the government to come home. I felt it was a slap in the face to those people. Absolutely. I mean, we can't.
Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong, but at the same time, who do you choose?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, there's so many detained. It's not like we don't have detainees, you know. Um, and so I think it's a case of say their name, you know, like, do you know their name? And so even now it's like, hey, we say there's so many detained, so many detained, but can we name them? We can name Brittney.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so had we released anyone else, the clamor would be, what about Brittney?
You left Brittney in there.
You left Brittney in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like it's a no-win. You know what I mean?
Right.
No matter what you do, you still lose, in the court of public opinion with somebody. So that's a difficult one on that. But at the end of the day, I'm glad anyone who comes home is home. And in this case, it's Brittney Griner. I'm interested to see, how long it takes her to come back and play. If she comes back, like, who knows what this experience, will do to her. But I do know from a business standpoint, viewership will be through the roof. Her first
game. Because we're trying to right. Is she gonna play this season? What's gonna happen?
And so if the WNBA is looking for revenue, go on and throw Brittney in the game and see what happens.
Right. Absolutely not. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah. But I get that. But it's not as simple as, do we leave everyone there? It's like, can we get everyone home? I don't think it's a matter of, I'm sure if we had the ability to get everyone home, we would. I don't think it's that easy. They're detainees for a reason. Not necessarily saying that they committed a crime, but I'm talking about
not good, maybe not a good reason, but
well, I'm saying, like, for whatever country they're detained in, for that country's interests, like, is the reason.
Exactly.
So, Open said that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My friends and I had to choose morals for life because the consulate openly said that they couldn't help due to a conflict where we were. Yeah, I mean, it gets free. And I wonder, like, how much American arrogance plays a part in how we conduct ourselves in other countries.
I'll tell you, I'm staying my tail.
Right.
I really would like to travel, but I'm like, the more of these stories I hear, I'm like,
now I know it's a lot of shady business, and I think some of it has to do with the world's perception of Americans. Like, the world does not like us. You know what I mean? And so because we have so many rights and freedoms and privileges here, when we go into other parts of the world, we act like that privilege extends over there. I'm not saying everybody, there's a lot of people, I think the majority will respect the customs, but just like the way that we conduct ourselves, period, you can be disrespectful even by accident, because what we're able to do here, we take it over there. We like, it's almost like that joke you hear with black kids and white friends, and the black mama come in the room talking about cleaning your room, and the white friend is like, dude, she can't do that. She can't just, this is your space, bro. She just can't come in your space. Right? Like, for those who don't know, for my non-black listeners, black homes are not democracies. They are dictatorships. Just so you know. So yeah. Looks like our executive producers giving notes.
No, just check in and make sure we're all good.
Okay.
Yes, look, all the laughs, exactly. All the black households, we know what's up.
That's a dictatorship for real. So next up, y'all, Robert Kelly,
My God.
the Pied Piper of pedophilia, apparently.
I'm gonna say R&B gonna have to stand for something else. I'm just
Yeah. So released a new album allegedly from prison. Um, and it was immediately taken off of what, Spotify and Apple, I
mm-hmm.
believe. And then news came out that it in fact was not him, but it was a leak that came out, and the title was "I Admit It."
That was the part I was like,
if that wasn't
really,
a troll job, yeah, if you wanted to ever slap the world in the face, release an album from prison, that would have gone platinum.
yeah,
Saying I like, okay,
that's like OJ when he wrote that book.
yeah,
Wasn't it like If I Did It or something
yeah,
like that?
something like, bro, like, take the win and disappear.
Just sit down and
Yeah,
shut
but
up.
nah. Robert said, "I admit it."
I admit
But
it. I admit
newsflash,
it.
Robert, if you ever see this show, um, I know you didn't actually release it, but you wouldn't have to admit it. There's a whole videotape about 20 years ago of you admitting it.
I still to this day have not seen that footage, but I believe everybody who has seen it that
it's
that was
out there. It
it's
exists.
incriminating,
Yeah.
damning.
And so that's what the whole conversation. No, I didn't cop the album. I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it. But I mean, I'm a fan of his music, though.
So did someone actually put his actual vocal? Like they have songs of his,
Yeah.
and they release it.
Well,
Okay, I didn't know if it was like because
it's
I
his
didn't
music,
cook it.
but as I understand, he does not own his own music anyway. You know what I'm saying? So the label, like all of that, like, if you don't own your masters and stuff, and if anybody else has more information than we do, like, chime in the comments, so we can talk about that. But just the whole thing, it's not even about the album as much as it is cancel culture, where people are having feelings about it. It's like, he may or may not have done what he done. And so here's my whole take with the whole him being in jail, right? Like, he's in jail because of a release of a documentary that came out years and years later after whatever. In my opinion, and what I'm about to say is provocative, but I'm going to clarify what I say afterwards. He should be getting out of jail soon, in my opinion, right? And the reason why I say that is because he should have been in jail for the videotape 20 years ago. It might have been more than that, 30 years ago, not even 30, I don't know. It was like late 90s or something shit like that, or early 2000s, whatever. So let's just say 20 years ago. He should have been in jail then, but he wasn't. Instead, he released Chocolate Factory, and y'all bought it and started dancing in the name of love, which is arguably, outside of I Believe I Can Fly, his most famous song.
Yeah.
Clearly, his most famous album. I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't have Chocolate Factory. It was the shit.
Hey, that was an awesome album.
Look, that album. And so the thing is, it's like we talk about his music, and so he does this. He has sex with this underage girl on tape. It's released, and then produces this magical album that makes everybody, and I call it magical because it made everybody forget what he did. And he went on to have an even longer career. The song I Found Love on it. That's the comment of the night so far. All right.
That is, honestly.
Yeah, but so the thing is, had he gone to jail when he should have, with the whole videotape out, right, he'd probably be getting out by now. And if those things that are in the documentary, I honestly didn't watch the documentary. I wasn't interested in the sensationalism of it, because in today's culture,
I watched part 1 and 2.
Yeah,
so
but the thing is,
makes me interested,
right? Well, what I mean is this: it's not even a matter of whether or not what was said in the documentary is true, right?
Right.
We already know what he did. That's on tape. So that could have legit been the only thing he did. and he still deserves to go to jail. However, it's easy to say everything that was possibly said in the documentary, and because he did that, it's easy to believe, right? So I'm not talking guilt or innocence, whatever. He did it 20 years ago. So
I'm like, look, don't cancel our show because Barzini is
I'm not
pontificating.
I'm not
Don't cancel us.
All I'm saying is today's society is not about facts, it's about firsts, right? And so as soon as you put something out there, it's up to whomever you said it about to dispute that. But people are already typically believing the first thing that's out there, right? So I shed no tears for him because he did the shit 20 years ago. It doesn't matter if he did it now, he did it 20 years ago. So you paying for what you did either way.
I wonder if it's about facts for people, because most people that I talk to believe he did it. And then there are some who are just like, I mean, yeah, he did it. However, 12 play is still a thing, and Chocolate Factory is still a thing.
And it's great
music. Ain't
music.
got nothing to do with me. Yeah, it's just like, sorry to that man. Like, they are not, it's not necessarily that they don't believe that he did it. It's just that they are removing themselves from the fact that he did
but not everybody is, because a lot of people's like, oh, I'm not listening to his music and cancel art.
Oh no, not everyone. I'm just saying there are some that,
but the reality, you can't cancel him, right? Like,
I think it's a lot of it feels like peer pressure, let's just say, right? Like, because yes, there were a few people that canceled him the first set of trials, right? And they were like, okay, no, we're not dealing. And a lot of people kept rolling with him. And then the documentaries happened, and then it felt like folks was like, oh shoot. Because even now, I watch a lot of podcasts, listen to a lot of podcasts, and shout out to R&B Money. Tank, if you ever see this, just all right.
Did you just have a moment?
Happy retirement. And so everyone that comes on that show, they ask for, top 5 singers, top 5 R&B songs. They ask you to build a Voltron, in terms of R&B singers. And it never fails. People, like, he's right on the tip of their tongue, and they will roll that thing right on back. Like, I mean, there have been a few people that are like, okay, look, we can't deny, what he's done. But most people, regular people, but definitely famous people, are like,
and fear of getting canceled. And it's not even about like them removing themselves, it's they making a business decision.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And much like, you see things like, of course, like Kyrie Irving, you can't just say anything without the world converging. You know what I mean. And he didn't even say anything, he just posted a picture. But and so the thing is, the reason why you can't cancel R. Kelly is he's done too much. He's produced and written far too much for you ever to catch up with it. And you're listening to music that has his imprint and you don't even know it.
Well, I'm gonna say whether you know it or not. Yeah.
So the thing is, it's kind of like if you tied, and I think maybe our problem is we pedestal artists that make music we love too much, and we don't separate the fact that, hey, this is a person, a very flawed person, right? Like, I'll take India.Arie, right?
I like her too.
Where, like, she makes beautiful music, but the overwhelming majority of people that I've interacted with that have met her say she is not a pleasant person.
Really?
Yes. Like, they say in person, because I've turned over a new leaf on the show, I can't say what they say.
Why?
But a lot of people have not spoken favorably about her as a person. And so I found that real interesting, because she makes music that makes you feel good. And a lot of people that, you know what I mean? Like,
she gives me rainbows and sunshine and butterflies,
or like just
cocoa butter and incense
and beeswax. But her heartbreaking music is very emotional music, right? And so people love her because of the perception that's created from her music. And then those who have met her are like, nah. So I would love to meet some people that had a different experience, but I've met too many that have said the same thing, and I definitely was surprised because of her. That's almost like saying Jill Scott is not a nice person.
Yeah,
I'm
she
like,
gives
no,
me warm. She definitely gives me
like
warm.
that
So
smile, the way she speaks, just like
that'll break
that,
my heart.
real soothing. You know
Oh,
what I'm
she not
saying?
like that.
Right. That's one of my celebrity crushes. Shout out to Jill.
We
Hey.
know Jill, Angie. I didn't know about Angie till last week, but I
Listen,
knew about Jill.
between let's see, Jill Scott and Angela, because
Mm-hmm.
y'all was Angela Bassett, Selena Johnson.
Really?
Yeah, especially pre-weight loss, pre-workout Selena. I like thick Selena. Um, and Ashanti,
Mm-hmm.
just don't sing to me. But
Just shout out to Ashanti. I'm not mad. I'm 40-year-old Ashanti. You out here
listen, that
doing a
woman fine.
doggone thing.
She's fine.
Okay,
All
I'm not
good.
mad at you.
I don't even,
I'm not
what? No,
mad.
she can sing to me. When you find like that, oh baby, like do what you do. Do what you do. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, what's the sad face with Jill?
Oh
I don't
yeah, I
know.
was like, please don't
I
tell
don't
us
know, Ash. Don't tell
bad
me we
thing
got,
about.
I don't care. I ain't canceling Jill. We'll
Yeah,
go to
I don't.
counseling.
Yeah, I don't think I've.
India ain't did nothing in so long.
Yeah, yeah. And when it comes to R. Kelly, if he comes on, because sometimes you elevator music. I mean, randomly you can hear his songs shuffle on your uh, whatever
Listen,
platform you listen to. I don't want to
I've
shout
been a
anybody out because
fan
they haven't
since
paid us
going
any
into the
money.
'90s when he came out. Vibe.
I mean, the man has hits on hits on
Listen,
hits. But here's the question, because you can cancel or you can stop listening to, Vibe, 12 Play, Seems Like You're Ready, all those things. But then there's what Fortunate, there's You Are Not Alone, there's something he's probably written in the gospel arena. It's just like, so are we going through like, do you have R. Kelly songs on your album?
yeah. See,
I can't do. I mean, it would be very hard, to your point, because his imprint is everywhere. So I just say, we're definitely against the action. We're not, by
yeah,
any
yeah.
means.
You separate the person from the music. Because like, listen, we wouldn't watch movies, we wouldn't listen to music, we wouldn't do
Yeah,
a whole lot of stuff if we canceled everybody that's doing something shady. So cancel them as people,
absolutely.
lock them up, do whatever. But their work is their work. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And so also you have to consider, where would you be if you was canceled for everything that you do?
Woo! That's one of those when you'd be at church, you got to run around the
Yeah,
sanctuary, because
listen, we
for real,
all, I don't know what y'all
for
believe,
real.
but we are all taking each breath by grace because we don't
Mm.
deserve it. I'm not saying free R. Kelly, but I'm just saying we all done been given, what I'm saying, some love.
He's like, pause. Nice.
Pause, like, to be clear.
Yeah,
To be clear.
I love it.
So we're gonna push it along because we got a couple of other really, really big hot topics.
Ooh, child. The
That's gonna
week was
need,
weekend.
yeah, the week was weekend. So y'all, Sean, Puffy, P. Diddy,
Take that. Take that. Take that.
Combs. Wait, did I miss a name? Puff Daddy. This fool didn't have more
Love,
names.
love.
Love, whatever.
Puffy,
Done.
Puff Daddy, P Diddy, Diddy, love.
First of all, Notorious, I love. What kind of grown man named himself Puffy?
Puffy.
Shout out to
Oh,
Angela for that one.
Angie.
See, let the record
Yeah.
reflect. She calling you. It's. I'm saying Angela.
It's stuck now, cause
Yeah,
honey,
Dre is
that
like
was
Dre.
hilarious. Cause I was like, when you said it the first time, I was like, okay. And then when you kept saying, I was like, wait.
Somebody
saying
said
this.
I'm saying it like we be going to brunch.
Yes, it sounded real personal, because I was like, if he knows her and has not mentioned that to me in over 20 years, we gonna have a problem.
Listen, I don't fanboy much, but in the presence of Mrs. Yeah, I might lose myself just a little bit.
Mm, I
I might shed
understand.
I might shed a single tear like she did in Stella.
Oh, speaking of which, okay, this is gonna be
Go
slightly
ahead.
off topic, but
Uh-huh.
it's connected. So I saw this show on Hulu, and it was like back. It's called Back to Groove or Into the Groove or something like that. And I saw Tay Diggs, and I was like, "What is this? Why is he hosting a show where like 40-year-old, 40+ year old women are like, it's kind of like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette or whatever
Both are
with like
cougars.
young men?" Yeah, I was like, "Oh, he's Winston." I was like, "Child, a
I
lot."
would like to dance with you.
I would like to. We
I don't even
loved us
remember seeing
some
that movie. I just
Tay.
remember he had the most horrible accent.
We loved us some Tay Diggs.
Y'all did until
Okay.
y'all found out he was 3'5".
Well,
Let me stop here. I'm not hating on Tay. Look, do what you do, bro. Do what you
do
do.
what you do.
But yeah,
All
so
right.
back to so Diddy got a baby, y'all.
Yeah.
Diddy's what,
A
50,
few days old, baby. Yeah, he's in his 50s at
in
this
his
point.
50s. And so the world
Because, as
is
a matter of fact,
clamoring.
he just had a birthday, I think in November or
Mhm.
something. Mm-hmm.
So Diddy, yeah, take that. Got a baby, and the world don't know how to act.
They sure don't. Born
Right.
in
So
October, so it's baby's a couple
yeah, a
months
couple months
old,
old.
daughter.
I'm failing to see the problem. So
There is no problem. Let's start
mhm,
there. Is it, a new life, with a dad that loves to be a dad. Like I mean, we only see what we see on social media, granted. Um, but we see him interacting with his children. He's at sporting events, he's at cheerleading events, he's, doing random videos with the kids at the house and all of that.
mhm,
So, we assume, as long
mhm.
as his health remains intact, that he'll be able
Clearly,
to do
clearly
that.
he's healthy enough to do our
Well, I
more
mean, as the
rigorous
kid grows up.
activities.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
as the kid grows up, because now you about to move into pawpaw territory, right?
Listen, if you old
So
enough to be smashing, then
yeah, but by the time this kid gets to be as old as his kids are now,
Mhm.
that's some time that has elapsed. I mean, he's still. I believe Puffy is gonna Harlem Shake till he can't shake anymore. Okay, so he's gonna be in there. But yes, the question or what people are really talking about on the internet, I thought he was with Young Miami, or I thought he was with Carisha, right? So for those
That's the
of
same
you,
person, right?
I'm gonna say for those of you who are like me and at a time did not know that these were the same people, Carisha, government name, Young Miami, stage name, City Girls. She's a part of the group.
Wait, is that
So
how you spell? She spell young? It's Yung.
yes, honey.
That
Yes,
is that is
yes,
ugly. Just
yes.
put the O in
And I
there.
think
That is
I
the
saw my mom on here, right? And so it's so
uh
funny because I can't I can no longer assume that she doesn't know who people are. Like she knows stuff that I don't even know. So she might have been like, "Oh, Carisha." She might have already.
Listen, mom's got time on her hands.
After we grew up and left the house, she
Mhm.
went straight to BET, VH1, and never looked back. I don't know, but
Mm-mm.
that's
Shout out to Mama Angela
yes,
and
right,
Angela.
Angela, exactly. Don't you,
I'm not.
Angie?
No,
Nope.
nope, nope. I ain't getting that call.
Yeah.
But
Okay, now this is new. I had not heard that. Not a grand. I think it's
mm,
a joke, but no. That's
uh-uh. If by grand you
maybe
mean big
right.
announcement,
Grand
it was a
baby.
grand baby
Yeah,
announcement. But
yeah,
no, that's
yeah.
him kid.
Right. So
Um,
no, not a problem. But again, yeah, folks, the Twitter back and forth and people's comments are really around the fact that Carisha claims him or Young Miami claims him
real bad.
real bad. She was at was it the Billboard Awards with this
Mhm.
sign like "Go Poppy." They did like a Thanksgiving charity event where they were passing out food and all these like you see them together. They travel together. There's all kind of things that they're doing together.
Mhm.
But Young Miami, whether or not she's hurt, let's just say, what we see is I'm still living my life. I am just fine. Like nothing has changed. Like people are projecting onto her, like, girl, you should be embarrassed, or girl, you
I
should.
mean,
And
what's
she's
one of their
like,
most famous lines? Real ass give about a.
yeah, I was like,
I mean,
clearly
walk it like you talking.
she
So,
living it out. She's living it out.
but I
And
think, why do people want her to be? So here's the
because
crazy
they
thing.
would be embarrassed. Like, because and honestly,
But you
for our
also
viewers,
would
right?
never get a Diddy. So
Well, and that's what I was going to say. We're talking about headlines in pop culture, but what we really do, these are things that happen in regular life, right?
mhm.
Like somebody on here now, or that might be watching at some time, found out their dude had a baby on social media. Like that happens, right? So I think people, like you said, we pedestal people, but we also personalize people's situations that are familiar to us, or that we feel like, oh my gosh, if this happened to me, I'd be devastated.
Mhm.
And everybody, I mean, it's crazy. Like the world is changing so quickly, but everybody doesn't have the same values. Everyone doesn't see things the same way. Everyone doesn't have the same feelings. This chick is like, I'm good. We
Right.
still going to wherever we plan to go. He's still gonna fly me out here. I'm still gonna get this.
Mhm.
And nothing's changing because a baby is here.
And that's provided it's a real relationship. Now, it could be a real relationship, but she's like, one, it's a good business arrangement, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so good business people know you don't jeopardize the brand. You know what I'm saying? And so that elevates both of their brand. Like, yeah, Diddy is Diddy, but she's current. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that helps keep him relevant. Not that he needs that because he's so ingrained in hip hop, but then at the
That's funny.
same,
I know that's right.
hey, hey,
My
but
check clear.
exactly. Look,
I'm out.
that's the brand. Like, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, she was on there and told him they go together, as if that wasn't a planned conversation. Like, come on, y'all.
And
Like,
she seems too out of control, in my opinion. Like if she really felt some kind of way, I don't know if she could hold it.
but that
She
could be
seems like
so.
she would be.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Artists, musical artists, are actors, right?
Mhm.
The difference is they have to always be in character.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There is
And
no
definitely with Twitter.
right. There is no cut. There is no that's a wrap. So the difference between an actor, a screen actor is when they say cut, then they're, like Denzel's no longer Alonzo.
Hmm.
He's Denzel again. With the musical
Denzel.
artist, it's like, no, the act, you are the act, right? Like you have to
Hmm.
constantly sell the act. People have to believe you. And that's the difference. People have to believe you that you are this person that you're portraying. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Which is why like women will fall in love with a R&B guy, like a Tank or something like that. When he sings about love and sex and stuff like that, they imagine themselves in that, scenario with him that he's singing about. Um, and so they got to keep that the image, or the rappers. It's like when you talk about, oh, I'm in the trap or I'm blah blah blah. So that's why you lose credibility when people find out you not really from whatever hood you claiming on wax, or you not this, you not that. You know what I'm saying? What's
Hmm.
up, Lil Dave? Shout out to Lil Dave. But so you always have to keep on the act.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, Ashley,
Oh shoot!
Ashley has no sense.
Hilarious.
So
Hilarious.
you have to keep it up. But I want to know this, like, ladies, chime in on this.
Hmm.
We often hear when referring to women, stop policing women's bodies, right?
Mm.
Dress how you want to dress, live your best life. Because we even did an episode on Lori Harvey and everything else. Leave her
Hmm.
alone. Stop policing their bodies. Sleep with who you want to sleep with. And then enter Nick Cannon, enter Diddy, and the whole world clamors. Are we not policing their bodies?
I don't know that we're policing their bodies, right? Like the sexual act. I don't know that anybody cares about that. I think the commentary that I have seen is more around the children. Like there are children being born. Now, I'm not sure if this is real or not because I know Mariah Carey doesn't speak to just anybody. But I saw as I was scrolling, someone was saying there was an article about, her saying she wished that he would spend more time with their twins. So that's allegedly because I didn't click any links, but that's typically the conversation that I see. Like people are like, okay, we understand, men can procreate until, they're back to dust in the ground, right? And these men in particular are wealthy. So we don't have to worry about, for the most part, you're not thinking about, oh, is the kid going to be homeless or is the kid going to get a good education or is the kid going to live this type of privileged life. But you are thinking about, okay, if you are having kids with multiple women, I don't know if they're all living in the same place, doubtful, how, and you are still an active entertainer, executive, entrepreneur. Where are all of these kids going to get, the relationship with you and the rearing from you? And then what does that do to the kids? That's what I've, pretty
I've
much
seen
heard.
some of that
Not
too, but
necessarily
yeah,
about
but it's
them
still
having
always
babies.
just on him, right? As if these women don't know who he is and don't know how many kids he's got out there, right?
I mean, them too. If
Yes,
this is a decision
we're
that
not,
you
yeah,
made,
but we're not talking about them. We're just talking about him.
but this
So
is, like you said, this is a case of say their name. I don't know that. I don't know that these people.
exactly. Now,
I named one name.
the funny
Okay.
part with Nick Cannon is somebody recently posted pictures of all his baby mamas, and when I tell you they are all the same person, all the way up to
Somebody got
Mariah
to
Carey.
type.
Mariah Carey, they all look
Is
like
the standard. Like
no, they look like Mariah
MC.
Carey daughters.
That's
Like
what I'm saying.
yeah.
MC. And then
And then I
and the
think
rest.
there was one that was darker skinned, but if she was light skinned, she would still look like the other ones.
That's
But
hilarious.
if I got a type was a person, it would be Nick Cannon. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is like, listen, it don't cost me nothing for him to have a kid.
Of course not. No.
But I mean, I just we're so enthralled and ingrained in other people's lives. Like, listen, I ain't never looked at my check and see any itemization of Nick Cannon's babies coming out of my check. You know what I'm saying?
No, but it makes for
So,
interesting conversation, which is why we're talking about it, right? Like it's interesting
it
conversation,
does. But
but
see,
it
we're
can also
conversing.
inform. It can also inform life, like real life decisions. That's how I think of it. Like
It
because no,
could.
I don't know these people.
I'm just saying we ain't did an episode on Kiki Wyatt.
No, but as I would say,
but
I've
all with
had that
her, I get it.
conversation. I've had the conversation. The difference, again, and I'm not saying right or wrong in either case, but Kiki was always married. Like I'm. She's in a marriage. They are procreating and having children.
But they not all.
Whether somebody dies or divorced, she's still in a like the goal is to raise our children together when we make them.
But
versus,
that's not they daddy. Like how many baby daddies do she got?
I'm saying if you're no longer with somebody, do you not, you just like, oh, I'm not having any more kids, even though I have a new wife?
All right, okay, no, okay, point taken. So let's just say if Nick had married all of these women when they had the kid, and then he's just not with them anymore, like Mariah, right? Maybe he had 8 Mariahs. He was married 8 times. It didn't work out.
Are they all living with him? If we're talking apples to apples, Kiki,
no. I'm just
like
I'm
those kids are staying with her, so they're all in
her.
one place.
But where are their fathers? So no, we're talking about fathers, right? So where are their fathers?
I understand, but I'm saying if the father moves on or I don't know if she was a widow at any point or if they were all divorces, but the kids are together, they are with her, and the intent is to raise them together as a family when you have them.
So
that was not the intent necessarily.
Maybe, but
we're looking at
the results are the same. So okay, so this is what we're saying: the kids are all with her, with their mother. All these kids that Nick is having is all with their mothers.
They're in the household, not necessarily with their. Yes, they're with their mother. Yes,
right,
they're with their mother.
They're all with their mother right now. The question is this: as I understand it, Kiki is currently married, but she's not with the father of all their children, right?
No,
I don't know
because
how
she
many.
wouldn't have been able to have kids
I
down
get
the
it.
line.
No.
But he is able to have this many women because
No.
he's not married.
Right. No. All I'm saying is this: Kiki's kids have, I don't know how many different fathers, but there are different fathers, right? Those fathers are not in the house with them. We don't talk about that. We assume because they're with her that all is well and she married a man or whatever. Like, oh, we don't talk about that. It's just because they're with their mother.
But I assume the discussion. I mean, if we're talking about like being able to take care of them, like Kiki is the Nick Cannon, right? Like I don't know if Nick has all his.
No, I
children
get it, but if we flip it, all I'm saying is we're not like.
Girl, he ain't stressing me out. This is what he does all the time.
I
let him stress himself out.
I'm not even stressing. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is this: with her,
okay, so it's two different fathers. Okay,
so
cool. of the
yeah.
Because that's also true. I think somebody brought a kid or brought some kids. So I think she claims
somebody did something.
Everybody,
it's a lot of them, right?
Yeah, but I do know she was married when she had
right. But so yeah, Brandon, I get that. So the thing is, but we start making distinctions. Kids are still kids, regardless of how they got here. They still here, right? So it's like it's all good with her because hey, they're all with their mom, right?
But I don't think anybody's ever gone boo Nick Cannon, but yay Kiki. I've never even thought about them in the.
I'm not saying yay Kiki, but we not keeping the same energy.
Boo. I'm like, I don't think anybody's thinking of them together.
No. What I'm saying is we don't bring up things like that. It's like, okay, when it's Nick, when it's Diddy, ain't. I mean, shit.
It's the behavior. It's not Diddy. It's not
okay. So let's just say that
it's the behavior. I'm a stick and move.
Yeah, but that's his choice.
Why? Clearly,
right. So why are we wasting his money?
We're not.
No. It can't. No. So when we play the opinion game, yeah, people had opinions about Lori Harvey. People had opinions about other women.
Exactly.
And the answer was stop policing them. So,
well, I mean, that wasn't my answer. I'm not
talking to you personally. Okay. I'm saying that's the social commentary. But when it comes to like,
that's what you're saying. That's what women are saying. Because I don't think I've heard that necessarily from men.
We're not.
And definitely not from men. So
yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying it, but I'm not saying
it. Ashley, like, if Kiki ain't singing "You and I" or she ain't doing a cover of Patti LaBelle, I don't care.
See, that's what I'm talking about. We don't keep the same energy because she ain't got a single out.
I'm not thinking about.
So okay, Kiki, put out a new album so we can talk about your kids. Thank you. So
yes, that's what he's saying, Brandon. Barzini is very big on equity. So
listen,
fire on the right, you gotta scream fire on the left.
Listen,
okay,
I am an algebraic equation, and in algebra we know what we do to one side, we got to do to the other side, or it's not equal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we gotta move on, y'all, to this last topic that we got, and y'all.
Wait, hashtag Boo said, Bars, I know he can't wait to get to this story. He's gonna have a field day.
Yes and no. Yes and no. My take is a little bit interesting on this. So, ladies, y'all favorite relationship guru, brother Derrick Jaxn is at it again.
Brother Jaxn.
So he done got caught in Miami with an Instagram model, and
and why he keep finding his women on? Well, I guess that's where he does his work. Is here because I'm just like,
I mean,
you can't find nobody else,
right?
You can't get you a Tinder, Bumble-roni.
He's out gallivanting, fraternizing with an Instagram model, and then there was a subsequent post that announces his divorce. And then YouTuber Tasha K, I call it the Wendy Williams of YouTube. She breaks the story. She broke the story of him being out and everything else.
She broke it, honey.
Right.
Woo!
And so here's the interesting thing. Anybody who knows me knows I have zero love for Derrick Jaxn, as most men share that same
y'all
sentiment.
Do not like him.
We don't like him. So I have no love for dude. But at the same time, her obsession with him, because I don't like her either. Let's be clear.
Yeah, equal.
Yeah,
on this side.
equity. Look, I don't like her. Like, oh, she is trash to me. Right? They both trash. But without her, we wouldn't have saw the shit that we've been saying for years about his ass. So, but like, here's the thing, Tasha, you exposed him once. Okay, cool. Hell no, she ain't paid because she ain't.
That's my question. I couldn't believe she was back on YouTube. I was like, I thought she was crying broke.
Listen,
and she's back out here talking about.
If I was people. Cardi B, I would own that show. She was like, "This is Tasha K, hosted by Cardi
Brought
B."
to you by
all them sponsors and everything. I would own that show. Like, but no. So now she's broke the story again. I'm like, why do you care about dude so much? And if he weren't who he is, I would be concerned as why everybody is so. I'm never mind. I know why, because he's always out here talking about what folks should be doing in relationships, and your house ain't together, bruh.
That's and I think much it. But also he's giving a glimpse into the person he is, right? Like he's telling women, if this man is doing this, then it means this. Like, I think women took it as, oh, here's a good man letting us know about bad men. Mm-hmm. When in reality, it was a man talking about himself. That's pretty much what this whole thing was. And it was, I didn't even look, honestly, before the whole, like the previous thing broke, I don't think I even knew he was married. I just thought he was just some guy out here
doing what they do.
Saying he was doing the Lord's work. Saying he was doing the Lord's work.
Sitting in the car. And it's crazy because everybody used to wonder, like, why is he always sitting in the car? Does he not have a house? So I guess we know why he was always in the car. And that's, what, so damn, like so many men have gotten into these back and forths on social media because men have been calling his ass out for years.
Yeah. I agree.
Listen, for years we've been saying, y'all stop listening to this dude. Like, it's like, no. And it's genius, actually. I got to give him credit for his genius.
He said the right things.
He said the right thing.
He delivered it. You know what I'm saying? Voice, like everything. It was just
right. He worked out. You know what I'm saying? Handsome dude. So, and I think that's what the women are getting caught up. Like, here's this handsome dude saying all the right things, and so he presented himself as the man you should want to be with. Like, I'm the guy you should be with. If he's not like me, like, boom, whatever, right? And so now, and I remember talking to my god sister a while ago, some years back, and she was like, oh, he empowers women. And I was like, no, he doesn't. Like, listen, he's not empowering. All he's doing is regurgitating the shit that a lot of women have gone through with dudes. It's like a horoscope, right? You can just take it's like you take a horoscope and take like a no nonsense personality trait, a little creativity, and then throw it together like, oh, you don't trust people fully until you really get to know them. But when they cross you, you'll never trust them again. And you're super creative, but you don't want to show the world because everyone wants to be like you. And right. And everyone is like, oh my God, that's so me. Oh, you love hard, but you just don't love often. And for someone to get next to you, like
it's a fortune cookie.
Yeah,
answers to which you seek,
right? Right, and people are like, oh my God, that's a Sag for real. That's a Sag.
But it also shines a light. Honestly, like we're laughing, but honestly, people like they're looking for answers, right? Like they're looking for something, and so the first thing that sounds good,
right? You gravitate towards, right? So it's not about what he was saying or again being right. It was women gravitating to what they wanted to hear. You see what I'm saying? And so, like, he wasn't lying. There are men that do the things that he was saying. The problem is he presents, as many people do, as that being the majority. You see what I'm saying? And so we always let the insignificant minority speak. Men and women alike, right? So when men have complaints about women, it's not inclusive of all or even the majority. we let the insignificant minority of men or women that do these things, these hurtful things, to represent all, because it's like the 10,000 snake theory that Muhammad Ali explained, right? When he's talking about white people, when there's like, not all white people are bad. He was like, no, not all white people are bad. But if there was 10,000 snakes coming at your door and 1,000 of them was good, you ain't got to
Right.
pick out the 1,000, right? You
Right.
just shut the door.
Yeah.
Right. You see what I'm saying? Right.
Mhm.
And so if a person has had all these negative experiences, then the assumption is they must all be bad. You know, now intelligence and logic says no, that's not true, but your experience is telling you different. So you're cautious, or it's easy to believe or hear these things. It's like, yeah, men ain't shit and da da da. And here's a man that's saying it. And so what it does, it creates this phenomenon that this is what a lot of women would do on this subject. 9 men or even 99 men will tell you the same thing.
Right.
And they will wait for that one that says something different to be like, see, I told you all men don't think like you. Like all 99 of us, you know, and that one dude is either trying to smash or gay. So
have mercy.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we don't, it's you get so passionate about certain things because a lot of men, we were in essence defending ourselves, like, nah, you know, because they start taking what he's saying out on you because they start looking at you like that. You know, and we are legit trying to help women, but it's hard when we're saying things you don't want to hear. Right. Because there's a level of accountability, there's a level of work, there's a level of reality, like, hey, that's it, a lot of that is you. You know what I'm saying? So it's but I want somebody but give passes for shit that we shouldn't. Yeah. And so and men are guilty of it too, because Chanel Cooper Sykes, I wasn't saying she was lying, but when she was talking to women and she was writing stilettos in the kitchen and all that other stuff, men was like, yeah, and she was fine. You know what I'm saying? So like,
where did she go?
I
haven't heard nothing about her. She just
but I just
maybe that's what he should have done. This is my issue with bruh, because I mean I had listened to, you know, his clips and watched his little car videos or whatever, but not necessarily to guide my life. You know, I was already rocking and rolling. But yeah, to find out that he was married, he was cheating on his wife, and you know, multiple women on Instagram, like all of the stuff from the first go round. And then his wife hit the scene, right? And he didn't shield her. Like, I felt some kind of way, like she's out there literally waging war against people and trying to hold on to her marriage. People are talking about her, you know, because she was out there looking a little, I mean, compared to what we saw him look like, and then like he's sitting next to her, she has, you know, the bonnet on. And not that you have to wear makeup, but it was just like it was a, you know, plain look. It wasn't a bad look, because I believe she's beautiful, but you know,
and we even had a picture of him, like the picture that we had of him, like, listen.
I was just like, oh look, how did you allow her? And I'm going to say allow, like, how did you allow her to come on looking like that and not say anything? Like, he was sitting there. Here's the, you know, we have the photo. You know, listen. I don't know if one was their wedding day or happier times, perhaps. And then the photo in the circle, that was during
and that's so unfortunate, because in the picture where he's holding, listen, the yams is apparent. She's a very attractive woman.
She's attractive because of the yams.
No, she's objectively attractive in that picture, but you know, the yams is sticking out. You see the yams
is sticking out.
But then you look at this picture with the bonnet on and the like,
yeah, she looked unhinged. But also, right, and I've said this before, like I've only been married a little over a year, but the type of like openness and vulnerability and like everything that I've allowed myself to become, especially the hard parts of opening up, right? If I was embarrassed like that on the internet, or even if it was just the people that I knew found out that my husband was cheating, like I probably would be looking like that. I'm just like,
right. It looked like
come on.
it looked like I can't say what I want to say. See, I had to, I see.
Caleb, like, I'll say it for you first.
Hey, they got a whole song about it. Can I get to the yams?
Can I get to the yams?
Sweet
Have mercy.
yams. But no, it's like, look, like,
Oh, I could understand.
Okay.
And he just sat there and let, like I said,
okay, but what could you say? No, so she's coming. Hey, babe, we gonna.
I'd have been like, you are not getting your, you know what, on the doggone internet to say anything.
Dre, come on.
Okay.
Do you honestly think? No. You honestly think he had to say so after why they was doing the video? That he gonna have room to tell her how she's supposed to look? He just got done getting caught up.
I'd have been like, we are not doing this. Or he could have been like, you can do this. I'm not doing this.
All right, so look, you clearly have never dated a woman. and you have zero experience being a man. Any man knows that when you caught up in what he was caught up in, the last thing that you about to tell her is how she needs to look on this goddamn video.
But for him to go ahead and do this again, what was the like? Well, okay, I'm gonna
okay. Let's
he wanted to save and salvage his brand, which obviously he did. People continue, like, he laid low for a minute. They acted like they were going through.
He could have left her then, and these women still would have followed him because they did not.
True, but they looked like they were building some sort of like couples ministry, or maybe it was a launch because now she's like Danae Jaxn Ministries. Maybe that was her springboard to go.
Not after that video she came and put out.
well, she like literally. I just went to her Instagram page today. She has her link is a teachable course on like how to survive or get past infidelity. So,
well, this is gonna kill that because they gotta fail. But also, no. So, did you see that video when she was putting curses on
everybody?
People?
Got the yams.
Listen, she got the yams, y'all.
Well, she won't be alone too long if she start posting the right pictures.
But
right
no,
angles.
she ain't. But she not wrapped too tight. Like that video she put.
But I'm saying, no, she can't be going through something like that.
Nah. This ain't that. She's not wrapped tight because she ain't wrapped tight. Like, listen.
She praise dances too. Hey, did you see or did anybody see?
Wait, what style
is Jesus? Did you see that Honk for Jesus?
I gotta watch it.
Yes, you do. Because there is actually a scene where Regina Hall is praise dancing, and it reminds me of this particular scenario.
I wonder if is she the crier praise dancer with the cry face?
She had the mime, like the white face. And all of it was really about,
Hold up. Or maybe she's a swimmer.
She did a whole lot of stuff. Shout out to Regina Hall. But it was a bigger conversation. It opened up a bigger conversation about pastors or men in ministry and the women in the role that they have to play, even when they are embarrassed like that. If your husband gets caught in a sexual scandal, which this movie kind of went through that too, like you still have to show face, right? Like, I'm still first lady, I'm still his wife, I'm still whatever. And these women are going
John Gray.
The Avenger, yeah. The Avenger.
And then y'all actually, we have an episode on that. It's called The Thin Gray Line.
Yeah.
So we went over the whole John Gray debacle and men in ministry, and But I'm just saying, I ain't thinking she coming unraveled because of this. I think she wasn't wrapped too tight.
She wasn't wrapped too tight, period.
You know what I'm saying? And not to defend him because F him. When you got a woman that's fine like that, but you still out here doing what you do, it's reasons for that. Not justifiable reasons, but reasons nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? And so here's the part that gets me though with Tasha K and her obsession with this dude. Like, you on here, I don't see no divorce papers. Like, who are you that people have to go out here and prove something to you? Like,
I think it was more to say he's only saying that he's divorcing his wife because we have receipts that he's out in Miami with this lady. That's how I took it. I took it as, because he posted because she outed him, and so he wanted to make sure that the public knew, okay, it's not the same as before. You know, me and my wife
But
decided to go our
maybe
decided to
it's
go our
not. And I can't
separate
even
ways.
sound. I can't believe I sound like I'm defending him. But facts are facts. Maybe it's not. Like, why are you all up in? You got your own
Well,
shit
that's
stuff.
her. That's her. When I say that's her business, because that's her,
It is
her
her. Yeah,
actual
it is her
business.
brand and her
Yeah,
business, which is why I
yeah.
think she's trash. Like, I can't stand. Like, I don't
Oh
like
gosh.
people who have to come up by tearing others down. Right
Well, I
now,
agree with that.
I'm not sad that he's being humbled and torn. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, how much is enough? Right? It's like you just and then when it's you see what I'm saying? When you had your deal, you was on there pleading and, oh, I'm being done so wrong. Nah, you wasn't done wrong. You was opening your
Mhm.
mouth and you found the right one. You see what I'm saying? And Cardi did what she did and she won. You see what I'm saying? And so now you want the world to side with you and you want to believe. And so it's like it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. So when someone is coming after you, you want to be vindicated and blah 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 blah. But you literally make a living by doing the same thing to other people, whether you like them or not. Like how many people don't like you? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
Well, we're
and
gonna have to send up some prayers for Sister Tasha, because
why?
that's just how. Oh, I'm just saying that's just how she makes her money. She's not gonna stop that. If you can owe somebody millions of dollars and
And you
you
still running your
still
mouth?
continue, she's not gonna stop that. So that's why I said we just have to pray for
I
her.
ain't
That's the
praying for
only thing
that.
that's
That's
gonna.
like, listen, that's
Well,
like
if you care, if you don't, then you just
I
go about your
don't.
business like me.
That's like saying grace over some chili cheese fries and thanking God for this nourishing food. Stop it.
But what I do want to talk about before we wrap in
uh-huh.
this story, the mistress, if you will, is taunting the wife slash soon to be ex-wife. Now, we heard Danae in her prayers. Okay, she'll find them deadly scriptures and put it on you. Okay, but Jesus sweating exactly. um, but what part of the game is that? So I'm like, you're not. Well, you know what? There's no such
I
thing as a
mean,
respectful mistress
well,
because you're
okay.
a mistress.
I will say this. I don't know the videos that Tasha had in her little subscription space because I will not
Well,
subscribe
sis
to.
was on Instagram hashtagging like he chose me. Why you mad? Blah 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 blah. Now she might have been talking to followers. She might have been talking to the ex-wife, but like people have things to say about
Mhm.
that as well,
Well, I
right?
mean, if there's any indicator by the video, so this is what I have a problem with because in Tasha K's video, she was talking about, oh, and this godly woman, that's like there was nothing godly about that video that woman put out there, cursing people
Oh, okay, I was
and
like, which
snapping the
woman are we
picture.
talking about? Oh,
Yeah,
okay, you talking
like
about the
yeah,
Danae?
no, there was nothing godly about that. So I think I'm not taking sides on it. I think both
You're
parties are
not.
trash. No, I'm saying they're all equally trash to me.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I won't say Danae is trash, but she crazy. Um, yeah, baby ain't all there. So
I do
it's
hope she gets the help she needs. Instead of trying to help somebody else, she needs
yeah,
help
you
first.
clean your own house. You got too much going on to be having anything ministries. Um I'm sorry. It's just baffling to me. Because we start like it can be argued that she is capitalizing on the sensationalism of his affair and then creating a ministry from it.
I mean, maybe she needs to
Because
capitalize.
who knew who she
What happens when he leaves? What does she do for a living? She might need to.
now you go into life after a cheater, or you like there's still a brand, there's still a market. You know
Oh,
what I
just
mean?
she shouldn't put ministries on. Is what you're
I
saying?
mean, you can do that. Look, just because people in church don't mean they're not gonna subscribe to foolishness. So, you
No, that's
know,
true.
you got a whole lot of preachers out there that's preaching foolishness and people and with full congregations. So
Mm.
there's still a market for all of it. You know what I mean? It's just, are you keen to the BS or not? You know what I'm saying? So
that's what I said. I was gonna say, like, she was just disrespectful, and then I was like, wait, is there a such thing as a respectful mistress? I mean, I guess those that play their role.
Actually, you know what? Yes, there is.
They don't get in the social media. Nobody sees them. They just take their little.
You have women that will play their role. Will even support the wife.
I'm going to say all the women are playing their role clearly, because then
but you have some that's like no. So there was this meme going around. There was like a text conversation, and it said like she was texting the dude and he wasn't responding. She was like, you better respond to my text or I'm on posters. He was like, hey. That fool responded so quick.
Hey.
But no, you have women that play their role to a T, and they'll never and men too, you know what I'm saying?
As we just saw the comment, right?
But I venture to say this. I bet you men do it more often. Like, they play their role better, right? Because they don't want to lose the situation. You know, it's like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna lay low, okay, boom, boom. I'm not gonna call you after, because it's not not always. Now, you do get some emotional men out there that's like, what about us? And you ain't gonna leave your husband. They out there. But for the most part, hold up, especially when I'm talking about men need to be able to express their emotions, and then I mock them.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, come on.
I was being a hypocrite right there.
But
they are out there. But for the most part, like, men is about that life. You know what I'm saying? So he not gonna.
Not all of y'all.
Not all of y'all. I'm talking generally speaking. Men are better side pieces.
Some men don't like to share. They like,
But generally speaking, men make better side pieces. You know. But I love how people get mad when they side piece has another like, oh, you cheat. Like, here's the show. Can you cheat as a side piece?
Yes. #Boo showed me a video yesterday. It was a guy coming out of a girl's room. So I guess it was like a college dorm, right? She's coming out the room, closed the door, went right next door, and you went into the other girl's room. And then I was like, oh, that's shady. And then before I could finish my sentence, there was another guy coming down the hall to go into the original girl's room. I said, oh, shit. Then everybody's getting cheated on.
Everybody's getting cheated on.
Everybody's getting cheated
on. That just reeks of STDs. So, that's all I can say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
So
great show.
Final thoughts. What's your final thought? We went through a whole lot.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know that I have a.
You're right.
Because there's so many things. Y'all are terrible at cheating.
You said what?
Okay. I was reading the comment. True.
Yeah, she said
y'all are terrible at cheating.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have one standard topic, so I don't know that I have a final thought, but I did have a great time discussing these topics with all of you. And, I was really excited about this week because there was so much to talk about. I was just like, oh my God, I can't wait to get into this and see what you all thought. I already know what Barzini thinks most of the time. So it's interesting to see him, say it, but I'm never too far from what it is that he already thinks. So next week is going to be the week of Christmas. I'll just go ahead and put it out there. I'm the wild card because I might be traveling. So you may see us on Tuesday, may see us on a different day, but we want to stay in the rhythm of our lives. Again, we have a growth campaign. So if you have not already subscribed, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and tap the bell so that you know exactly when we go live. Thank you again, Brittney. He said, this show is great. I got to keep tapping in. You do. You absolutely do.
And
tell a friend.
Listen, y'all, here's the thing. If 2 people tell 2 people just to click the button, that's going to help us out so much. We are transparency. We're growing and monetizing the channel,
Yeah.
So,
and we're not trying to ask you for money.
Yeah.
We're
so
get the YouTube money.
If y'all click the button, You know what I'm saying? We trying to get YouTube money. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So
Yes.
that's the mission right now. You know, we're meeting the criteria to monetize the channel, but we need those subscriptions. And we can't reach that to unless you know we have the share. So share. Like, hey, get your friends, tell them to tune in. It's a great show. If you want to be on the show, you know, on our lives, you know, send us an email at crossroadspodcast@gmail.com so that we can talk. We don't have just any and everybody because we do want to keep the show quality. So your where you are and your audio and all this other stuff, it
It
matters
matters.
because
It does.
we don't want to compromise the integrity of the show. We want people to be able to hear you and have a great experience while you're on the show. So yeah, y'all. So with that said, y'all, this has been another episode of the Crossroads Podcast. We love y'all for joining us. We love the conversation. We love the engagement. Please stay tuned. Keep tapping in. Help us grow. Watch us grow with us. We appreciate all of our roadies, all of our road dogs. We still haven't decided on the name. We,
I
you know what
like
I'm
both of
saying?
you. I like both of
Um,
them. Yeah.
right. And then in your case, it's RHO roadies. So I was talking to Crystal about that. But y'all, we love y'all. And until next time, always remember,
Be
be free
free
to
to
be you.
be you.
We'll see
Bye,
y'all soon.
everybody. Love you guys.